Black Metal Hills, and this time we go to United States with the new band Niveous. And this is their first release, an EP called Endless Snowfall. So what looks like to be a traditional tape demo, this is in fact a labeled released tape EP or cassette for those who prefer that description. As you can see, this is a pro-made tape. 2 songs on each side, pro printing and all, not some Xerox copied thing. And this is the rather good looking J card, what we have here. So includes the band photo, 3 guys, as well as lyrical input, as well as recording information and track list, and of course cover art. Now, those of you who have been following Rauta channel for quite some time know already that I'm not a big fan of tapes. I never was, but back in my teenage years, this was the format we were listening to, that is before CDs. And for example, I didn't have vinyl player when I was a kid. So a little bit of sentimental nostalgia feeling with this, but then again, I'm not really a nostalgic person. For what it's worth, I think this kind of format is for collectors only. These are very tangible ones as opposed to your Spotify, YouTube, whatever digital format you listen to. But when it comes to rewinding, fast forwarding to tape to right position when it comes to listening to certain tracks, yeah, not really my thing. But in case you're in for tapes, this is the kind of stuff you want to probably get. So let's talk about the band in question. This comes from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, United States of America. As you can probably see, this is from 2024. Now, the band might be new and their first EP is very new, fresh from the oven. The band is already working for the debut full album, but these guys are no newbies. In fact, they are mostly coming from 2 different bands, also from Milwaukee obviously, and they are death metal ones like Cryptual and Outer Graves. Now, I got the pleasure of knowing Carnal Ruin, of which this band has 1 member of, in the past. I mean, some reviewing some material, and that was quite nice stuff, but that seems to be gone. So it's not like he's ex-member of the band as such, as like the band would be active and all, but it seems the band is being buried. So, new times for new guys or whatever. And as you can see, 3 guys, bass and vocals by one other guy doing the drums and vocals, and then there's guitarist. So, efficient trio as such. Endless Snowfall might sound like a very, very 1990s kind of a name. After all, it feels like, yes, let's go back to the Nordic countries, where you have the grim, frozen countries, and everything is always buried with snow, except that now it's very warm summer and all. But this music, of course, takes you to the place and mindset where it is grim and cold and, you know, kind of a, how to say, as opposite to antithesis of, you know, having warm summer and all. And this goes with the music as well. So I think just name, which gives me the Spanish vibe of, you know, winter, is then again very much married to the idea that it is snow and ice and cold, as well as these songs which are definitely about that glacial kingdom and of endless snowfall. Yeah, get the idea. This is all about winter themes and being cold and frozen and all. Now, musically, this also goes hand in hand with the topics. I mean, I get that kind of a not early but mid-era immortal vibe coming from this music, and that's of course a compliment. The tape, this whole EP, sounds fantastic. For the record, by the way, I was reviewing this based on the digital files, the master files used for this tape, in case you're wondering, since I don't have a working tape player. Now, like I mentioned, the production is very, very solid. It's more on the very polished but strong studio sound as opposed to raw, grim rehearsal room like. And I think it fits the kind of music here well, because this band has this up-tempo things as well as mid-tempo ones, but it's always about strong, you know, drumming and guitar play and all. And while we kind of got used to having kind of a rough and raw production back in the days, I'm talking about the early mid-90s. I mean, obviously it's given that when you have more punch, to the whole music, yeah, it sounds better. So it doesn't sound like one of those overproduced big bands. Like there's the saying going, like when you go too far, it kind of starts losing the human factor. This, on the other hand, is very, very well balanced, and I like it. Same goes for those rather more screamy kind of vocals. They are not the kind of a Danny Field like of a high-pitched scream, but not exactly the kind of a raspy, partially growling ones either. So very, very traditional in the sense of vocals, guitar play, and basically everything. This is kind of like as if 1990s sounded better in terms of production and you would have it. Now, I have to say though that there is nothing mind-blowing about this tape. There are no wow, absolute killer tracks. So in case you're wondering like, hey, could this really be the next big thing with this tape already? I'm gonna have to tone it down a little bit, saying this sounds good. The songwriting is pretty solid and all that stuff, but don't expect this to be just yet the next Immortal or, Mayhem or whatever you're expecting. But these guys have some good stuff going on, and I would expect them to be writing even more, the kind of catchy and memorable songs, because they have the basic foundation laid just right there. So I'm enjoying it, and probably you should as well. Links are provided in the description box, so check out the music from the sources you have right there and dig for more information if you're into, and sign up to their social media pages. They don't have too big following at this point, but who knows what it will be in a few years. Off you go, enjoy.